do Arizona Republicans feel about President Biden dropping out of the race and a possible Kamala Harris candidacy?
Yes, joining us this morning is Arizona Republican Party Chair Gina Swoboda. So good morning. Thank you for joining us. What is your reaction?
Good morning. I don't think it matters who the Democrats put at the top of the ticket or in the vice presidential slot. I think that President Trump is going to win, and I think that's because the Democrat policies have ruined the country.
You have pointed out the things that matter most to Arizonans, right? Saying the border is a big issue, immigration is a big issue. With the change now here, does anything change with what Republicans are doing to make sure Trump, on your end, gets voters here in Arizona?
No, we need to focus on those issues. So we have out of control inflation, housing's totally unaffordable, the border is wide open, and when we're talking about Senator Kelly possibly being on a ticket with Vice President Harris, what has Senator Kelly done to secure that border here in Arizona over the last 4 years? He voted to increase prices for Americans when he passed that inflation bill. He voted to support Biden's very ruinous green energy policies that did not create the jobs that they said that would be brought to the country. And I just think that people have had enough of those policies.
You know, the policies and what's going on in the world is actually really what matters to families on both sides of the ticket. How do you maintain that Republicans keep that up so it doesn't become a he versus she or a personal thing? How do you keep the policies in the forefront?
Thank you. Well, that's exactly it, right? We have to remember that the American people are suffering. When I was young in the 70s under President Carter, they used to talk about the misery index all the time, and it was like, here's inflation, here's what the prices are doing to you, here's your ability or inability to get to work every day and feed your family. The pain being experienced by the American people is very real. And on top of all of that, I just think there's an incredible amount of hypocrisy coming from the left, the way this whole thing happened. When we're talking about Act Blue and 52 million coming in, it looks from the outside like the donor class decided who the candidate was going to be on the Democrat ticket. And millions of people went out and voted for President Biden to be their nominee, and they've just kind of thrown those votes away and disenfranchised all of their voters. So I think they have a lot of work to do, and we on our side of the aisle are just going to remain focused on what matters to the American people, talking about the policies to make it a positive impact in their lives every day, because that's what they care about.
You know, after former President Trump was attempted to be assassinated, he changed his tone. We saw that change, you know, and he said that he wasn't going to focus so much on, you know, just the attack ads and such. But we also know, as soon as that announcement came yesterday, President Biden dropping out of the race, we started seeing those attack ads on Kamala Harris. Your response to that?
Thank you, Tess. So, you know, I think that there are arms within the campaign, and it's their job to make sure they are educating the American people about what that candidate's about. And at the same time, for President Trump, we just came out of an incredibly unifying convention. I have never seen the Republican Party this united. I frankly think that scared the Democrat Party, and that's why we suddenly had this change take place in what looks like a 24-hour window. I think there are people in the campaign, and it's their job to make sure people understand the votes that Harris took when she was in the Senate, what she did as a prosecutor in California, and what she has failed to do as the vice president for Joe Biden. She was part of coming out every day saying, I've seen him every day, and every day he's fine, and he's sharp as a tack. Well, if he was sharp as a tack every day, where are we now? Why can't he run? And the American people, I don't think we know who's in charge right now. We haven't seen President Biden. It's bizarre to me that we found out on Twitter with a letter, and we haven't seen the president.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. He did announce that he was going to be addressing the nation sometime this week. So, Gina Swoboda, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.